Friends, good afternoon. My name is Sherri Barnes, and I serve as Senior Pastor at St. Andrew's United Methodist Church in Charlotte. I also am a member of the Board of Ordained Ministry and am privileged to serve as one of the discernment team chairs. I'm looking forward to our time together this afternoon, and I'm going to have and share some information on leadership through vocation and discipline life. And this is directed to provisional members who are seeking to become members in full connection and seeking ordination for both deacon and elder. The full connection questions, friends, this year are the same as last year. So if that work has started, I trust that it will be refreshed and strengthened by you. I'm just going to take a few minutes here and share with you what we're hoping that we will see a little bit more of from you when we meet next spring for conversation and interview. Again, my area that we're going to talk about today is vocation and discipline life. One of the questions that we're hoping to hear more about is next steps. We know that it is exciting to be at the end or near the end of this particular part in the journey. But friends, ordination is not the end of the journey. It's more like Noah, Abraham, Isaac, or Jacob or Abraham, building an altar to mark the holy place and then moving on. You're going to be invited to describe ways that your call story has been affirmed, challenged, and clarified through your practice of ministry. And how do you see yourself going forward living out that calling? We're going to ask you to describe and talk about relationships. We know that relationships are at the heart of the gospel. We want you to reflect on your role and skills in relationship building. For example, active listening, meeting and honoring people where they are. Now, each of you has had the privilege and opportunity to work through a fruitful leadership in ministry opportunity. We're going to invite you to share with us what you learned about yourself, your ministry, your leadership style, and those with whom you served, and successes and challenges that you engaged along the way. And speaking of challenges, we're also going to ask you to address conflict. Over your last 3 years of service, what are some of the approaches to conflict that you have engaged and exercised in? What have you learned? We're going to invite you to reflect on your EI, your emotional intelligence, and your SI, your spiritual intelligence, and share ways in which you've exhibited strengths, ways in which those moments have identified growing edges for you, and what steps you are taking to strengthen those. With respect to your discipline life, in the words of Reuben Job, I am reminded of his asking of the question, how are you staying in love with God? We're going to invite you to share with us, how are you exercising self-care? How are you tending to your physical, mental, social, and spiritual health? Who are your partners for the journey? And what is the role or effect of your congregation in and on your overall health? We're also going to invite you to be, well, reminded, I think, that each of us is an interim. All of us have interim ministries. A ministry truth is that we are all and always interims. We are stepping into a congregational journey that we did not start, nor will we end. How do you seek to honor their story? Well, to honor story, both yours and theirs, as well as prepare your people to receive their next leader. We're going to ask you to share examples of practice and teaching financial health and well-being. In short, stewardship. How do you encourage your local congregation to participate in the connection through apportioned or connectional giving? We're also going to be interested in how is the gift of administration practiced by you, and how has that gift informed or is informing your vision, and what are some of the challenges that you face when exercising that gift. We're also going to ask you to explore a little bit more about vision. The prophet Habakkuk writes, "Write the vision and make it plain." We want to hear more about what is your vision of ministry? How have you led others in writing or implementing, revising, and growing in ministry vision? There's two more things in this area of vocation and discipline life that we want to hear about. One, we're hoping that you'll be able to share with us places and moments of radical hospitality. How do you model, teach, and encourage your church, your community to be a place that sees all the people, welcomes all of the people? And last but not least, we're going to invite you to share with us some understanding or some learning about change and failure. Heraclitus taught that there is nothing permanent except change. I remember my 10th grade biology teacher was the one who introduced me to that idea. How have you led your community, your church through change? How have you equipped others to lead that way? Are you willing to fail brilliantly? And what have you learned in seasons of loss and adaptation? Friends, we look forward to the interview in time together next spring. Please know that you are being prayed for in this work. We understand that it is no small undertaking when you are participating in community life, family life, tending to personal, physical, spiritual, mental health care, and writing these papers. But we trust that your work will be good and that your ministry will be enhanced by what I have come to understand is intentional reflection on things that are necessary for a good and well practiced ministry. So, again, if you have any questions about this work, then you can reach out to Kim Ingram, Megan Hobbick, or their staff. You can reach out to members of the Board of Ordained Ministry, and I hope that you will feel free to reach out to me. Again, know that you, your ministry, and family are being prayed for. And we do look forward to the opportunity to visit with you next spring. Thanks.